Hey everybody, welcome to Tattooed in Business. I am your host, Brian Merrill, and this is Business and Life through the eyes of a Gen X male that happen to be covered in tattoos and been in the sales game for over 20 years. So today's show is titled "Honesty is the Best Policy," and I'm going to go into this in little details on things I've seen over the past and recent incident and things I've noticed. So first things first, um, I've always been pretty transparent with what I do for a living and where I'm at. So life has evolved for me quite a bit. So when I got into the promotional products game um, and apparel, I was a professional middleman. That's what I always tell everyone. So I didn't do any of the decorating myself. I had decorators I worked with. Um, so supply chain, I'm an in-between man. A lot of companies lie about that, and I never understood why. So I I I partner with other businesses that they have me supply or decorate things for them, and vice versa. And then I have referral partners too. So sometimes rather than me doing it and doing the bid, I'll just refer them right to somebody I use or that I work with. And I got to be honest, a lot of the ones that I do that to, they don't send me a lead that they want. They'll send me someone they don't want, unless it's web development. So they'll refer to me for web development because they know I do it. I'm also very particular in who I work with and what platform that I'm going to work in, um, versus other people. But what I find is a lot of people really aren't honest, or they try to hide what they do from the end user. And it's just not something I've always been, big on. And my first job in the promotional products world, I worked for a fairly large company, and we did our own apparel decoration in house and stuff, and some hard goods stuff, but not very much, but a little bit, name tag stuff like that. But they also were they would monitor our phone calls, like, and I mean, like, it was crazy. And they really wanted to make sure that we were very selective of the words that we use when we talk to a customer, and rather than saying one of our vendors or someone we work, is be our manufacturing partner. When we talked about places, they wanted them to have the mindset that we did everything in house for decoration, which was not the truth, not even close to it. And I work with other companies that they're the same way. They don't want people to know I exist, and that's fine, and that's dandy. But at the end of the day, at some point, it's going to come full circle to the point where I have one company that literally went after a customer of mine, um, and they said they didn't realize that I was the one working with them. But they didn't stop when they found out that I was the one working with them either, and they told them they could beat their price by 50 cents an item last summer, and then came to me, and I said, "Well, why would I undercut myself by 50 cents for you, so you can get a job that I'm already doing?" And then they were, "Oh, well, we didn't know." And I'm like, "You did know, and you forgot. Obviously, I hope you forgot, because otherwise, right now you got some egg on your face." But a lot of companies aren't necessarily upfront and honest about that. Now, understand this: not everybody can be everything to everybody, and there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of companies just want a solution provider. Okay. Now the mentality is, yes, when you're working with a middleman, that you're gonna pay a higher price because they're marking them up. Well, no kidding. And whatever business you're in, you're doing the same damn thing. So keep that in mind. And I don't care if you're a restaurant or what the hell you are. That's the truth of the matter. But and then this is a totally different example. So I had a salesperson came in, and so just so you know, when you do promotional products, like, sometimes there's a code and you got to learn how to read the code and stuff. Well, they didn't want my help with it, for whatever reason, and they thought they understood it, and they went ahead and they quoted the customer price. They came in to me after they've already quoted it, and they said, "Hey, can I have you tell me something really quick?" I'm like, "Sure." And they said, "So was this the right price?" And I looked at them. I said, "No." I said, "You took retail and you marked up retail." And they said, "Oh." I said, well, if they bite, then yeah, you made a hell of a commission off it. You did it, made good money on it. And they said, well, what if they him and ha? I said, I said, fall on your sword, tell them the truth. You made a mistake, and come back to them with the right price. I'm just going to tell them it was on sale. Absolutely not. And they stopped and they looked at me and I said, why the hell would you lie to them? You made a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. And they said, well, they won't know the difference. And I said, okay, how did you get this customer? Well, somebody introduced me to them. And I said, okay, they gave you the product, the quote, correct? Yeah. And I said, well, does it already have their logo on it? Well, yeah. So, and they didn't get it from us, correct? Well, yeah. I said, well, where did it come from? Well, I don't know. And I said, our competitor. So they know already how much that cost and they know what they paid. So you made a mistake and you're going to lie to them and say, well, it's on sale. And they're going to say, oh, well, it must have been on sale a year ago when I bought these because they were this much. No, they're not stupid. And they can Google that item and they can look online and see, like, remember this, first of all, I'm a firm believer in this. Liars are buyers and buyers are liars. I was told this a long time ago and I tried to fight this for years and I realized that I can't win. It's a battle I can't win. Not all the time, but most of the time they're lying to you about something or not telling you the truth. And so you got to keep these things in mind. Now, nothing is worse than lying to the customer or the end user because it's a snowball effect at that point. It's going to keep snowballing. And first of all, profit's not a dirty word out there. I mean, we're all in business to make profit. Um, I hate giving the guy credit for anything, but the guy I work for, he used to have a saying that hogs get slaughtered. And there's a lot of truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that. If you get too greedy on your margins, eventually you're going to lose a lot of business. But also, when I come to you and and you're coming to me for a solution, and I have an idea, and you buy into my idea, you didn't have that. That yields value. So there's nothing wrong with making an extra on that. There's a guy in our industry who I love it when he speaks. I just talked to my boss about it. He holds people come up to him, and I'm just going to make up some numbers here, guys. So somebody will say to him, hey Cliff, what was your gross sales this year? And they'll say 900,000. They'll say, ha, and you're a speaker and you do this and you do that and you tell us how to do things. Well, how much did you do? Well, I did 1.2 million. He goes, well, that's awesome. That's great for you. What margin did you have? And this is a true number because I overheard this conversation. Person, I did 30% margin. And he says, okay. Oh, all right. So what's 30% margin on 1.2? Because I do 50 to 60% margin on mine. And then they got quiet. Well, how can you gouge people? Because I'm not gouging people. I'm coming them with a concept and an idea. You're selling an item and you're marking it up and you're commodity. I'm coming them with a package to put these things together in, and that takes time and that takes money and that takes resources to do it. So I yield a higher percentage on it. And it's the truth. If you bring something to the table of value, you know, you deserve to be paid on it. And guys, and this is the one I love. So everybody will sit there and say, Jesus, Brian, that's greedy, 50 to 60%. You ever bought furniture? 400%, motherfuckers. 400% is the average markup on a piece of furniture. Think about why. How many hands have to handle that? The shipping that gets involved in it, the delivery that gets involved with it, all the things that come and putting it on the showroom floor, all these things. That's why there's a percentage of markup on that. And it's sitting there taking up floor space. And if they have a floor plan, then they're paying a percentage on it. So there has to be a markup to cover that stuff. Did you turn your lights on today? Did you have to have a building today? All these things have to factor into it. So the guy who's making 30%, now this is a true story, by the way. The person that said they were making 30% worked for another company, inside an office, inside a building, and showed up to work there every day. His employer's eating everything else. Oh, wait, there's health care in there. He's getting all these things his employer is eating. Okay. The other guy's independent. All right. He's paying his own bills. He's paying his own this. Not that it should necessarily make a difference, but it does. All these things factor into it. My favorite right now is the chicken wing. Chicken wing thing. Chicken wings are through the roof, right? Everyone's talking about chicken wings. There's a shortage of chicken wings and all this shit. And now, like, you're paying all this money for them, and it's kind of like everyone's bitching about. Well, then don't buy them. Then don't eat them, right? Do something different. Use your head. Do something different. I mean, you got to change. Um, the other thing is when you get a customer that's beating on you about margin and stuff like that, or their last vendor, think really hard. How did you get this guy? So sometimes you think like, hey, I got this great new customer and everything's going to be great. And then you find out really, really fast that you're losing money on. Beating you down on price, beating you down on delivery. I had a guy who I picked up because he kept telling me that his normal vendor said there was no inventory, and I knew it was bullshit. There was inventory, so I took the sale. First sale, no problem. Second one, he was short. Okay, took care of it. Next order. Oh, you guys ordered the wrong color, and we were short, and we were this, and we were that. Holds up his payments on me, everything. Make it all right. Go to collect the stuff that was the wrong color. Oh, I gave those out to my employees. I said, okay, but you didn't pay for them. Well, what were you going to do with them? I'm going to donate them. I own that inventory. You didn't pay for them. I didn't charge you for it. Okay, fine, eat that. And you start to find out that there's always something wrong there. Well, now you're sitting there and you're thinking really hard about it. Then you have somebody come in and undercut you. And then they start telling, well, why am I paying 50 cents less if I go with these girls versus you guys? Okay, well, one, those girls better have forgot that they were my customer, that you were my customer because we partner together. We just don't tell anybody. And two, when they come to me for the quote to decorate your shit now, I'm not going to do it. I'm not even going to, first of all, I'm going to end that relationship with them because they backdoored me and we're supposed to be a two-way street partnership. But two, I'm not going to do it for them anyways. You know what I mean? It just the way it is. So there's another way. So it's not really that they're lying to the customer or the customer. Your customer might be lying to you too. So if you're telling me the truth and I'm truly short of you, then I will always take care of you. If I find out you're lying, you're dead to me, and I'm not gonna have nothing to do with you. But it could be a harsh way of putting it, but it goes true with anybody that you work with. So think about this: you do right by a million people. Not everybody knows about it. You make one mistake, you screw up one time, everybody talks about it. We call it the rule of 10. Everybody knows one person made a mistake, tell 10 people. But there's always underlying circumstances. It's never black and white, guys. It's always, I always say there's three sides to every story. Your side, my side, and somewhere in between is probably truth because there's emotion involved in it, right? But honesty has to be part of it and your integrity. And I'm very particular. Um, I'm very particular when someone's representing me, my brand, or something that I don't want you acting like that. Now, I'm going to have another conversation with the salesperson this next week and make sure that they understand where I'm coming from. And this is not negotiable. We do not lie to our customers. You need to fall on the sword. And if you're in a company and you really need to listen to yourself, and you find that you're saying a lot of time where something goes wrong with the order and you're not taking responsibility as a salesperson, you're blaming it. Oh, the guy's in production. Oh, my sales manager. Oh, you don't realize how much of an idiot you're looking like to your customer. You're making your company look incompetent. Two, you're showing them that all you do is pass the buck and that you're not going to solve it and you're not going to be there. Now, I have a similar situation that's happened to me right now. Order's been supposedly screwed up. Guy admits to me that he'll take care of it. 30 days go by, still not taken care of. I reach out to him again. Hey, what's going on here? Starts an argument with me and all this. Total wrong. Hey, that's not what I said. Here. Are we going to take care of it now? Yeah, I'll take care of it. On the third day, still not taken care of. Get on the phone with them again. Hey, what's going on? You have said. Then they want to argue back with me again. Then I say, hey, look, here's it all mapped out again. You have told me twice that you are going to take care of it. I'm not stupid. This customer, I'm going to lose from this day forward. Two reasons. One, how can he trust me to fulfill for him, even though it isn't my mistake and my fault? Okay? How can he trust me? Even no matter how well I fix this, no matter what the chances are, I'm going to lose this. Now, keep in mind, this customer's paid not one fucking dime towards this order at all. And the two orders he has after that are delivered and are correct, he hasn't paid on 3 invoices now. But he's using all this as a reason not to pay. So I'm going to lose this customer. Second reason I'm going to lose this customer because when this order's done, I'm done with them. I've lost too much money. I'm gonna basically fire myself from this customer anyways. But I still need to make this right. And I've been very transparent and very honest with the person from day one that I sub my stuff out. So at first he understands where I'm coming from. I'm caught in the middle. I've already paid out of my pocket, already paid for the entire order, all his stuff, everything. And I've been 3 months and haven't drawn a dime on this. Is it right? Now, what I probably should have done is said, okay, credit him back for what he claims he didn't get, make sure he paid me on it, and then filled that end order. That was probably would have been the best way to do it. Customer refused that. Absolutely refused that. So that's what made the second choice, come to fruition for me. But the honesty of it is, one, somebody's lying here. So somebody's lying. And as a middleman, you get put in the middle. Obviously, the term middleman. So I'm going to lose a relationship with this guy over here who's always done right by me too, and this guy over here who is my end user where I make my profit. I'm losing both sides here. That's where it sucks. That's where it's hard in life. That's where the game gets hard when you're a middleman. And like I said, I mean, nobody's perfect. Everyone has a story like this. And look at your competition that, like I said, I don't badmouth my competition. Some of my competition badmouth me, which I really don't understand. I got someone who badmouths me, who they are literally a professional middle person at everything. They literally do nothing themselves and sit in offices and give themselves titles. And they do nothing for themselves but sell, I guess. So, and for some reason they have a hard on for me. I don't know why. Just, I don't know. They don't like me, I guess, but whatever. It's not like I've taken any business from them either. There's enough business to go around. But honesty is the best policy, no matter where you're at. Even if you gotta eat crow and you gotta, fall on your sword. But even as a salesperson, you got to remember that as well. It's not just the owner that has to do this. And if you are a salesperson of any integrity, you're going to be honest with people. And then sometimes you just accept you can't do business with somebody and you walk away. I mean, or you assign a different sales rep because it's not worth your time or headache or whatever. So, on that note, love to know what you think about that. Again, and first of all, if your comment back is, I've never had that problem, you're full of shit. Okay, I don't want to hear from you. I only want to deal with you if you're honest. Okay, but I always encourage feedback. Before I go though, I guess on my last podcast I talked about the way self-awareness and how we talk to people, and I guess I irritated a couple people that were in the IT business. I'm going to tell you that exact experience that I talked about has continued to happen to me since that day. And it happens to be in the software industry. it's not that you're doing it intentional. We all understand that. But think about when someone has tried to talk to you about a product and you don't understand their terminology. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So it's not a personal shot at anybody. It was just an observation about an industry. And by the way, this is not an apology because it happens. And the amount of people that have come to me afterwards and have said, Brian, you were so fucking right. I've had that happen to me constantly. These guys don't get, way outweighs the number of people that have said, I disagree. So, it is what it is. Self awareness. Self awareness, by the way, is ability to be self aware of yourself, accept it, and deal with it. Okay. Not denying it. So, trust me, your customers, that is perception of how you are. Okay. Like it or not, that is reality. I've done all these stupid ass sales evaluations, and I remember early on somebody tested that says that you don't do well in follow up. And I always used to love the stupid ass trainers and go, "What do your customers say?" Well, here's my fucking reviews, asshole. And they sit there and say one of Brian's best strengths is ability to listen and follow up. And they would sit there, well, that must not be right. And I'm like, right, because God knows that your data could be flawed, right? But there is truth in there on things. There's always some truth in there. It's just how you're self aware about it. And if people are, you don't want people telling you what you want to hear. You want people telling you the truth, and that's reality, guys. So nothing is ever meant to personally take a shot at anybody or in any way, shape, or form. It's really just, hey, this is what I've seen, this is what I've experienced, and I hope you don't fall in the same pitfalls as me. That being said, hey, if you have a chance and you haven't already, listen to my girl, Lori Seitz. She has a podcast called Fine as a Four-Letter Word. It was designed for women. I absolutely love it. It's really hit home with me. She actually asked me to be on the show, and I was her first male guest. So for season 2, I was her first male guest. The 27th, it is airing on your podcast network. So in YouTube as well. So if you get a chance, look it up. Lori Seitz, fine as a four-letter word. I'll be on it on the 27th. So, but definitely, whether I'm on it or not, guys, girls, it's a great podcast. I mean, especially if you're Gen Xer, we talk about it all the time. So a lot of the similarities, and I'm telling you, this is somebody who, when she talks, I'm sitting there going, "Oh my God, I so relate to this in life." So, and it hits my background story. So I also tell a little bit about my background, a little more depth and detail and stuff, and talking to a trained professional. So definitely check her out. And on that note, guys, any questions, hit me up, tattooedinbusiness@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook and our YouTube channel, Tattooed in Business. Everybody have a great day. Thank you very much.